Welcome back to the Crypto's Key Conversation. In today's video, I wanted to start with Jungle Inc.'s little poll he has here in regards of XRP passing its all-time high before the next bull run starts. And this one right here says, do you care that the native NFT upgrade to the XRPO has been delayed? So you're talking about the XLS 20 amendment has been delayed because there's a bug that needs to be fixed in order to secure the I guess you could say the network from malicious attacks and stuff. But starting with this one here, it says, will XRP pass all-time high before the next bull run starts? So just my opinion based on, market sentiment and my time in the market and kind of what's revolving around Ripple and XRP right now. I'm going to say yes. So it says 45% people say yes, and this is just under 1,500 votes, 3 hours left in this. 45% people say yes, 39% say no, and 15% of people says 589, which is hilarious. There's something I wanted to cover down here. Someone was saying something along the lines of like, this person says too many hodlers, max $2 USD. There's other people was talking about, this case isn't going to end until I'm 75. And then someone was like, well, it's a good thing that you're 74 years old, which was hilarious. There's a lot of just different, like you could tell there's some bots. So there's a lot of people just being trolls and just being hilarious within the community, within these threads, which is interesting. I love going down here and just kind of reading these things. Coming over here to this one right here, says, do you care that the native NFT upgrade to the XRPO has been delayed? So me, I'm saying, no, just get it right. I mean, we've been waiting for, the growth and adoption of, the XRP ledger, just Ripple and XRP in general. So like, why not do it right? Get everything as right as possible to the best of their ability. So when these things roll out, we don't have like a Solana problem where we're constantly having to drop the network and it goes down and there's all these other problems that happen. Don't rush anything. Get things right. I mean, we're already kind of waiting through litigation as it is. So why not? And it says 73% of people say, yeah, no, just get it right. And 10% of people say, yes, I can't wait. And then 16% says 589. It's absolutely hilarious. People are putting that. Right now, we're currently sitting at a $1.1 trillion market cap, currently up 0.7%. Bitcoin is sitting just below 22,300, which is huge. XRP is sitting at a little over 35.5 cents. Coming over here, James K. finally gives us an update. Says District Judge Torres has approved the parties' joint scheduling proposal to govern sealing issues related to the upcoming summary judgment motion. So I'm gonna click in here so you can pause it and kind of read through this if you'd like. XRP Crypto says, let me zoom in. When is Judge Torres going to force the SEC to provide the Hemin documents? She's taking her sweet time with the eyeballs. And then Tim usually just says like hashtag ETHgate and stuff, but he goes coming in hot today. This is huge. Oh, here goes that comment I was talking about. Yeah, maybe when I'm 75 years old, the case will settle. And it's like, thank God you're 74 right now. You're 74, right? With the Gabriel Iglesias gif here, which is huge. Coming over here, Eleanor Terry is talking about James K. Fallon's post in regards of what's going on within litigation. She goes, and we are chugging along the summary judgment. And, shout out Eleanor Terry, Charles Gasparino, Liz, and Fox Business for putting the information out there, taking an unbiased approach and just trying to gather all the information necessary to come up with, some sort of conclusion based on, the evidence of what's happening behind, the Ripple XRP community and this whole ETHgate stuff and just this corruption within the SEC in general is absolutely massive. XRP Crypto says, we won't ever forget everything Fox Business did for the XRP community, even after the Ripple lawsuit concludes. That's huge. That's absolutely huge. Shout out to Fox Business and all the parties involved there. This is from Digital Asset Investor. This is about a 2 minutes and just under 15-second video clip, which I thought was super interesting. It says, Congress this week, you have the opportunity to ask Gary Gensler and Harrison Pierce why they are giving Ethereum a free pass / monopoly while going after all other crypto. There must be an investigation of SEC conflicts. The world is watching. Hashtag antitrust. So he's putting up this video here. This was back in October 2021. It says Ethereum free pass is about creating a token factory. This is the SEC helping to create a monopoly. Antitrust. Retweet to everyone in Congress and the media. This is huge. It says Milton Friedman on monopolies and antitrust, University of Chicago, 1977. Let's take a quick listen into this. Make sure it isn't too loud.
Ask yourself, where do monopolies come from? In the United States, the most important and the strongest monopolies are unquestionably those that derive from governmental privilege.
They consider the Ethereum network token and issuance mechanisms to be decentralized, and therefore no transactions involving those particular assets are considered to be transactions of securities. They have not said the same thing about other tokens, the Ripple token, for instance, and they were clear that they were going to come out with statements to sort of assess these different tokens, and I believe they've made all the statements about decentralization that they're going to make.
What private monopolies there are that have been able to maintain themselves over any long period of time without government assistance, period. And the second was the New York Stock Exchange. Not more recently, because since 1934 it's had the help of the SEC.
Which islands were we going to buy, and what were we going to do with these hundreds of millions of dollars that people were going to drop on us? So I drove lots of the legal work. We got a piece of paper in our pocket before we actually launched the token sale.
But almost every other case, you have temporary monopolies develop, and if the government doesn't come in to shore them up, they fall to pieces.
The SEC has been very clear that, I guess Commissioner Clayton indicated that they wouldn't grandfather anybody, that big surprise, they're going to enforce securities law. We happened at a moment in time when securities regulators around the world were not watching, and we became sufficiently decentralized.
I don't think Ether is decentralized. I think it's fully functional, but I don't think it's decentralized. But the chairman, the division director said it's decentralized. So, hey, look at the metrics for Ether. And, hey, you do a little better than that, hey.
Then why isn't Ripple?
Yeah.
And you can go down the line and find that one hypothetical monopoly case after another derives from governmental assistance. And ask yourself.
It has been very clear that.
So, yeah, what's wild is, I mean, if you're new to this community or you're new to watching this and you're just coming into this is Joe Lubin from Consensus, one of the co-founders of Ethereum. And this is the only gentleman, one of the only gentlemen within the entire industry that says and claims that, Jay Clayton and Hinman and Gary Gensler and the SEC are doing a great job when it comes to, overseeing and regulating this space. And they're our friends and yada, yada, yada. Boy, you got all the rest of the industry is like, nah, corruption. They don't know what they're doing. Overregulation by enforcement. Gary Gensler needs to resign. All these other things, but it's like, why are these people getting pieces of paper, in their back pockets? And how does he know all this information before things roll out? And he's not the only one, but he's one of the big one that was going on all these different podcasts and interviews and gloating and talking about what they got, their token factory, and we got this, and we went out before we were, rolling out before, the government was watching and yada yada yada, and all the, Jay Clayton says they're not going to grandfather in anybody else. It's almost like literally this is what happens. Like they were like, hey, are we good to go? Are you going to slam the door on everybody else? So like they're going to be scrutinized while we kind of get the free pass. That's kind of what this overwhelming concept is. It's like they literally gave Bitcoin and Ethereum a free pass and slammed the door on everybody else. So now everybody else has to fall under the microscope and scrutiny of Gary Gensler and the SEC. And everything's classified as a security. Minus very few, but we don't know what those very few are. Absolutely crazy. Corruption at its finest. And yes, they tried to create a monopoly and they got caught. And now they're being exposed. And we're going to kind of see what Congress does about it, if there's going to be an investigation behind it all. And we're going to see if everything surfaces in regards of the William Hinman Ethereum Free Pass speech, drafts and emails and whatnot, and see kind of what happens with all this stuff. And are we ever going to know who these disguised wolves are? Are we really going to know whether that's, some third party blockchain specialist company going through and checking out all the transactions on, the Ethereum ICO? Are we going to know who these disguised whales are? Those are like the questions that I'm super intrigued to get the answers to. Or if it's just something that's going to be swept under the rug and we're just going to be like, oh, well, they're going to finally level the playing field and everyone's just going to be like, all right, cool, whatever. At least we got to level the playing field. I don't know, quite interesting. I think if there was a documentary to come out about, the whole Ethereum Free Pass, ETH stuff, I think it'd be super intriguing, especially if, they were able to do like true, like in-depth behind the scenes, like investigating in regards of, all the transactions on the network, disguised well stuffs, who was involved, who emailed who, where were they meeting, what closed door meetings were happening, what government officials were involved. I think that would be insane and I would really enjoy watching it. Anyways, I'm ranting on. We're going to move on. Riz put up a great one here. I love this video here. This is what I think Joel Katz, or you could say David Schwartz here, says, we have the technology, #XRP. So listen into this.
We have the technology to allow every financial institution on the planet to settle with every other financial institution in a compatible jurisdiction in any asset in seconds for less than a penny. Just think about this. Anyone who's made a payment knows that we're nowhere near that today. But imagine every financial institution settling with every other financial institution in seconds for less than a penny, any asset. That's fundamentally transformative. We have the technology to do it. Now we just need to figure out how to drive the adoption. And of course, there's all the challenges with there's incumbents, there's regulation, there's inertia. There's the big players who are really trying to defend. If you're one of the largest banks in the world, you want to push pause or stop on technology. Because you're in the lead. So of course, you say you love technology, but obviously, you wish you could stop it. So we have the technology.
Yeah, it's literally it's not even just about money. It's just about power and control and holding that dominant, first position or top position. And that's just a reality. It's crazy, man. Moving on here. This is from Digital Asset Investors responding to Ben Armstrong of BitBoy Crypto. Says, just found some really juicy info on XRP. New video coming soon. Hashtag XRP Army rise up. So I always get intrigued by what, Ben has to say in regards of, XRP inside information. And, he hasn't been right about everything, and no one's ever going to be right about everything. And he's the person that goes out there and boldly, puts out his opinions on things, and based on the information he has that he's willing to share, he kind of puts it out there, which I think is kind of risky in a sense, because it's already a lot of trolls and haters out there, so already going to bash you, and especially if you're wrong, there goes a lot of credibility as well. But he says he has these this inside information and these high level sources, as the Digital Asset Investor says. But I'm always intrigued to kind of hear just different perspectives on anything, whether it's right or wrong. I like to listen to it, especially if there's some sort of level of I guess you could say knowledge or awareness of what's actually happening. Now, if he's spitting off a bunch of nonsense based on the information I understand of Ripple and XRP and kind of what's going on in XRPL and stuff, and what's going on in the community, if he's saying something completely outlandish, okay, I'm obviously going to disregard it. But I think it's interesting to kind of take on a lot of people's perspectives on things and kind of just formulate my own opinion on things. And I've had a lot of success doing that, building my portfolio in reference. This is from Coinbase Assets. It says Coinbase will add support for Hedera Hashgraph HBAR on the Hedera network. Do not send this asset over other networks or your funds may be lost. Inbound transfers for this asset are available on Coinbase and Coinbase Exchange in the regions where trading is supported. Trading will begin on or after 9 a.m. Pacific time on the 13th of September 2022, if liquidity conditions are met. Once sufficient supply of the asset is established, trading on our HBAR USD or our HBAR USDT pair will launch in phases. Support for HBAR may be restricted in some supported jurisdictions. So I know me in particular, I hodl some HBAR, and especially like Moon Lambo and a lot of other XRP community YouTubers. Members within the community, they're big on HBAR in regards of allocating them and what the technology can do and what the utility is. So this is huge. For me in particular, I haven't really been following HBAR much. I've just kind of had some in the past, but this is huge. Some unexpected stuff, unexpected news here. That's huge for me. Moving on here. From Watcher Guru, it says, Just Infidelity plans to offer Bitcoin trading to its 34 million clients. Like we said, the domino tiles just continue to fall. This is huge. So we'll see what comes out of it. And there was I forgot who did the research when it came to like the numbers and data, but they were saying like, when it comes to decades, so, 2030, 2040, I mean, we're going from, 500 million each year in gains of like users or hodlers within, or just people adopting crypto in general, 500 million each, decade, which can be a lot more. I guess that's just the number they came up with. But I thought it was quite interesting to see like, after each, 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20 years, like, the growth of this space. They compare it to the age of the internet, and they showed like the growth lines, like the Wells Fargo little research paper they came up with, and they were showing like the growth lines on the line graph. And Bitcoin and crypto have already kind of like started peaking past that. So if the internet boomed the way it did, wait till we get regulation, full adoption and clarity within the space. Like, where's this space going to go? Absolutely massive. We're going to end on this one right here. It says, brother of former Coinbase manager pleads guilty to insider trading charges. So we were covering this about the whole, the SEC saying 9 tokens traded on Coinbase were securities. And then you got the insider trading with the former manager of Coinbase. And then you have a family member and a friend that were involved, but it goes, the brother pled guilty to insider trading charges. So it's quite interesting that, the SEC went after the individual and didn't go after the institution. But like I told you in our previous video yesterday, that they're getting their ducks in a row. They're trying to get as much information as they can. And we're definitely expecting them to go after, if it's not Coinbase, another major exchange, just like Johnny Deaton said in his prediction in regards of what the SEC is trying to set up. It's crazy, man. They're trying to get a stranglehold of the entire industry. But that's what I have for you. Make sure you come to the Crypto is Key Conversation YouTube channel. Subscribe. Follow us on Twitter at Crypto is Key 1. I really appreciate your support. With all that being said, stay strong out there. Be safe.